All right, let's start. So for those who've just joined, welcome to our first virtual exhibition walkthrough. And we're going to quickly go through the virtual exhibition right now. And as we walk through it, we're going to stop by through some of the parts of the exhibition and get some introductions from our members.
Hi, my name is Shyam Kumar. I work as a program manager in one of the IT companies in Bangalore. My wife and my kids, they are Lego fans and I'm their fan. That's how I got into Lego. My son started playing Lego when he was a kid, when he was 2 years old. And my wife has been playing Lego for more than 30 years. So I'm new to Lego compared to my wife. She is my mentor. And the image you see here, it's of an Indian Hindu temple. The idea of building this came when we saw so many mosques being built by alafs across the globe, and specifically in Lego India group. And that's how we started to build this. And we went through all the images on how the plan should be, how the basic structure should be. And we also put a color to this by being a light cream color. And then we started building right from the bottom. And we finally got into a place where, we were able to complete that within 2 days and get it going. That's how the mock got completed. I came into this group of India AFOL maybe 6 months ago. From then on, it has been a wonderful journey. There are so many friends here who love Lego and then building so many interesting stuff. We share a lot of ideas. We share which are the new sets, upcoming sets. And then the best part is I'm growing younger day by day by being part of this group. We play as kids. We love playing with Lego. And then this reminds me of my childhood. So I'm growing younger and younger.
Okay, I'm Dominic. I'm from Mumbai. I'm 41 and I've been into Lego ever since I was a child. Actually, purchasing from 2005, but never stopped building. I used to always build whatever I could, whatever I saw, anything that came up to my mind. So the moment I see something on the road or say, as you move on, be it a truck or rickshaw, that built mostly all of the mocks that I've seen is basically being built. I've built a lot of things. Now the ones that you see is Airwolf, and I think this was a kit and a team. These are one of my smaller mocks that I've built. It's crazy actually, because not many people do get what we're into, but once they see the stuff that you create, they go, wow, that's made out of Lego. That's the initial reaction. Most of us feel that we're just wasting our time, but once you are done with your mocks or the creation, they pretty much go like crazy. Oh, that's Lego, huh? Buying a Lego is an expensive, being into Lego is an expensive hobby, but the passion just makes you go on with it. And the stuff that I've created, in fact, it surprises me every time. Every time I create something, I'm surprised myself.
Sound great.
Okay, so actually my journey with Lego was like when I was a kid, I just had one Technic set, and after that, I fell into the dark ages. Being a dentist, I had to go through UG, PG, and so it was a long journey, and I had totally lost touch with Lego. And once during my post-graduation, I used Lego for an altered impression technique for a patient. So there's something called a sectional impression tray. We all know how Lego elements are perfect in interlocking. So I used Lego for an impression technique for a patient with no teeth, for making a set of complete dentures. And after that, I felt a little bit, drawn back towards Lego. But then I was having a lot of academic pressure, and I couldn't, spend any time towards all these extracurricular activities. So just it was a passing cloud. And after marriage and after settling down with a clinic and all that, I rediscovered my Lego interest in Lego when I had been on my honeymoon trip. When I was passing through the airport, Malaysian airport, I found a Lego store there, and I couldn't resist the temptation to walk inside the store and see a couple of sets. Back in my place, there are no Lego stores or anything like that. So when I saw Lego sets, for real, I thought I should buy some, and then I just didn't buy it because at that point it didn't look fitting. So I just regretted not buying that Lego set at that airport. So that regret kept on growing inside me, and I just wanted to keep buying buying for a long time. And then I started with some small Technic sets on Amazon, and then I got a couple of big sets, and then I started ordering parts only through only Technic parts. And then I saw you could do a lot with Technic, and I was going through YouTube, and I'm basically a dentist, so I don't have any technical knowledge, mechanical engineering aspects. I have no ideas whatsoever. And then I went through a lot of YouTube videos, and I completely learned through YouTube, and that is all. And then I started experimenting with small initial builds, and I wanted to build something new, not something that's already there, or following instructions and building a model. So, and then I thought, okay, what is not built? I was searching I was scouring the internet, what is not built till now, and everything was built already. Everything that I could imagine of was built. So I thought, in India, mocks are very less actually. So I thought, why not build Indian models, something that nobody else has tried. So all my mocks were, focused on building something unique to India. So that is how I started. My first model was Bajaj Auto, and it was a little, I imagined the scale a little bit too big, because, building things in a small scale is very difficult, and you need a lot of parts for that, different variety of parts. So I thought, okay, let's build big models. So I started building an auto, and the model was too heavy. I couldn't get it to drive at all. There was lots of big gear backlash. The first auto took me around 100 days. I had to think of different mechanisms in which I could make it move. And finally, after 100 days of effort, the auto started driving. And the main problem was it could drive in reverse, but it could not drive front because of some gear backlash problem that I couldn't figure out. And then finally, at one point of time, it just worked. And after that, I felt very I felt very happy about that. And then I started, building whatever, I had my eyes upon. And then I had a tough time building a couple of other models. I built a modified version of an Aragog 8-legged walker. And then I built a Dragon, which was a walker plus JK Brickworks mechanism I had for flapping wings. And so the Dragon really, boosted my spirits. And then after that, I started, I worked on a Tata lorry 1613 model. I made it all, added stickers and everything, and I decorated the set, and it looked really fantastic. And I was really happy with the result that I achieved. And this third build took me just 5-6 days. So I felt, okay, I think there must be a standard formula that you can follow, and make predictable builds, not like you start and then have a thought block and just abandon the build. So there was some standard formula. So if you follow that, you can make any predictable working Technic model out of a common inventory. Then after that, I started expanding my inventory to just I went through Rebrickable, and I had a simple technique. I mean, many of you may find it useful. You go and try to build any Technic model, ever released. So then you start clicking and seeing what parts you miss for any Technic model, and then you'll realize what parts are most commonly used in Technic models. So if try to bricklink only those parts, and your inventory should be in such a way that you can build at least 100 or 150 different Technic models that are released, standard Technic models. So if your inventory is that big, you can build almost anything that you want. Next is panels. You have to get a lot of Technic panels, and if you follow this formula, and then I found, okay, now I have a very good inventory and I'm able to build almost anything. And after getting the Mindstorms, it's just pure magic. Lego Mindstorms is pure magic. You can do whatever you want. And
Okay, so I obviously, like everyone else, got into it as a kid. But the main thing which I'd like to talk about it is my time as a TFOL, because that was when I just started getting into the online community. I was maybe about 14 or 15, and I joined Lugnet. I used to post regularly on Lugnet, which was the old forum for Lego users, so for Lego adults. And I shared a number of mocks on it back in the day. This would be around 2004, 5, 6, and I realized that being exposed to the creations of others is really how you take your skills up to the next level. Like, you would do very basic stuff if you were living in sort of isolation, away from everybody else who's into this. It's like any other creative pursuit. You need to read really well to be able to write really well. You need to look at what other people are painting or sculpting to be able to paint or sculpt really well yourself. And the same thing applies to this. So I started at that age. I was 14, 15, and I was doing mocks with snot. Snot was a new thing. I mean, it wasn't a new thing, but back then the only sort of bricks that you had to do snot with were headlight bricks and jumper plates. Those were really the fundamentals. And then learning about the 5 plates is to 1 brick ratio and all those things, all that happened for me at a very early stage in my life. So that was one big plus for me when I got back into the hobby in 2018. I had been cold turkey away from Lego for about 10 years because, obviously you're building your career and all those things. But 2018, I had a decent amount of money in my hand, and I just decided to go for it. I bought the assembly square and the old fishing store. So that's how I got back into the hobby. I think the last set which I bought before that was probably somewhere around 2005. I think I bought the Ferrari Enzo. And then after that, it was straight up, nothing till 2018. So that's how I got back into it. And I initially didn't really have anything in mind in terms of doing mocks. But then I realized that since I was earning, and at that time I was single also, so that helps. So I was able to start accumulating parts or doing bricklink orders. I remember when I was 15 or something, I begged my parents to get me the Santa Fe Super Cheap, which is a very, very today very, very rare engine. Back then it was around 5,000 rupees on bricklink, and obviously because online transactions and things like that were at a very nascent stage in India, they said we're not going to feed in our credit card details on PayPal and things like that and get you all. So I just went nuts, man. I just started buying stuff off of bricklink like nobody's business. And then now we're at a place where I have the collection to start doing the sort of large builds that I'd always dreamed of doing as a TFOL, but never got a chance. So that's pretty much where we're at now.
From a day job, I work in IT. So I've been doing that for donkey's years. I think it's about 26 years or so. So I work for an IT firm called AFOL. I manage a lot of the technical support teams right now. There are about 14 subgroups. Prior to that, I've been pretty much most of my life building products, software products, and engineering and things like that. So that's what I do from a day job. In my spare time, I do a lot of travel when I can. That is, of course, the pandemic has changed the scene. So I do a lot of travel, which includes trekking, and I've walked some of the iconic trails like the Overland Track and things like that. I like to be on the road. I do camping and, drive through countries and those kind of things as well. And closer to home, I ride a motorcycle on the weekends with a group of friends. Sometimes we make outstation overnight trips and multi-day trips and things like that. So that's something that I do. I think the biggest so-called where probably without really the way it unfolded was not even something that I expected, but something that got me introduced to a lot more people and outside of my thing, whether it is in India and abroad and things like that, is Lego. I started Lego. I was introduced to Lego as a child, but I never really had too many of the Lego sets because one, it was not easily available. It was pretty expensive when we were growing up. Anyways, when I started working, I stumbled upon Lego and I realized that since I was traveling as an IT professional, you travel a lot. Though I do DIY and things like that, I realized Lego is a medium where you don't really use paint and you don't cut and hack and you don't create a lot of dust and things like that. So it was easy for me to buy a bunch of Lego sets and then build something, then dismantle and rebuild something. So that's how I started with Lego. I didn't really know what was the scope of things or how much I picked up over the years. I just ended up buying sets that I like and things like that. And then suddenly Lego started, getting in touch with me saying that, hey, since you do a lot of Lego, would you be part of some of our events? And then, when I was in Sydney as well, I was part of the SIDLUG and things like that. So, I started doing events. One of the first events in India was for Fun School. They wanted to build that fire truck, the one what you see on the screen, bottom right corner. Mm-hmm. So that was so they wanted to set a Limca record. They asked me if I can get involved and drive that. Me and a gentleman by name Max. So I did. I was there for all the 3 days. That's also the event where I met Dom. So we built that and we were certified as the largest Lego installation or model built in India by Limca. So that's my thing. And ever since, every year Lego will call me and ask me to build something bigger and more. So I built the train engine multiple times, the Christmas tree countless number of times. And then in 2018 December, they wanted an event which is large scale in Mumbai, and they also wanted to try and attempt the world record. They asked me if I can work on that project, and then I had to identify a new category in which we can actually enter, so to speak, and then participate in or attempt a record. So we entered a new category, longest plastic toy train, and we were able to they had set some rules, and then we set that record. So that's, I think, pretty much the pinnacle of my Lego, so to speak, experience. We had a lot of people in Mumbai. We had Siddharth, we had Dom, we had Clyde, we had Tejas. There was a lot of effort from a lot of people there. So yeah, that's my story.
Lego Mumbai AFL group is pretty much active. We share a lot of ideas, tips. We have a WhatsApp group that I started a while back, and it's pretty much alive and active. Most of us help each other out. That's the best part about this group is we help each other out. If you come across some sets and somebody is looking for it, we make sure the other person is aware of it and he gets it. So the main idea was always that we grow together. It's never about a single person owning everything. It's a collective hobby. The more we are into it, the more we help each other, the more we can grow. And that's what Lego also wants. It wants an AFL community that can show. It's never one or two. It's always a crowd. And that's one of the things that I like about Mumbai. We go shopping as well. I mean, I've gone picking minifigs with Ronak and Clyde and Siddharth, a friend of mine named Prasanna. We go buy stuff. We meet up over a coffee. Yeah, it's pretty much good.